Collected, created, and presented by Pawan Thakur, Thakur Property Consultancy. In ancient Indian political thought, the default state of nature is known as Matsya Nyaya, the law of the fish. In a fractured, lawless world, the strong endlessly consume the weak. Good intentions cannot stop this cycle. Only power can. Kautilya, widely known as CHANKYA, operated as a system architect. He engineered an empire specifically to end the chaos of his time, replacing lawlessness with an ironclad structure. His masterwork is the Arthashastra. It is a 6,000-verse manual dedicated to Artha, the science of acquiring and maintaining the earth, and the wealth required to sustain human life upon it. Kautilya defined the state as a deeply interconnected, living organism. Every limb has a designated function, and every action is dictated by a mathematical system of control. To survive total chaos, a leader must build an airtight structural blueprint from the inside out. The Saptanga blueprint begins with the king acting as the brain. To rule, he must master himself, conquering 6 mental enemies like lust, anger, and greed. The second limb, ministers, faced rigorous secret testing involving wealth, fear, and romance. Refusing the bait meant passing. To maintain this control, the state deployed a massive, layered espionage network. Wandering spies disguised as monks, merchants, and students were embedded everywhere, constantly auditing the loyalty of officials. Absolute internal security relies on a single pragmatic assumption. Trust is an illusion. Loyalty must be constantly tested and verified. Every organism needs its own blood to survive. For the ancient state, that blood was the treasury and the territory, known as the Janapada. This ancient silver punch-marked coin represents the state's absolute control over its physical assets. Kautilya dictated that the government hold monopolies on lucrative resources, mining ores, managing forestry, and heavily regulating market supply and demand to maximize state revenue. But this aggressive wealth extraction had a specific purpose: benevolent infrastructure. The state used those funds to construct secure trade routes, robust forts, the Durga, and essential public works. Kautilya even mandated a surprisingly modern social security net, legally obligating the state to provide for orphans, the elderly, and the helpless. Economic prosperity and welfare serve a strategic function. A wealthy, well-fed population is the ultimate defense against internal rebellion. Once the internal state is wealthy and fully secure, the ruler must look outward to the mandala, the circle of states. The mandala operates on a strict geopolitical rule. Your immediate neighbor is your natural enemy because you compete for the same borders. Your neighbor's neighbor, however, is your natural ally. This chart breaks down Shadgunya, Kautilya's 6-dimensional foreign policy matrix. It's brutal mathematics. Make peace, sandhi, with superiors, and wage war, vigraha, against inferiors. Deploy neutrality for equals, and use the double policy to make peace on one border while waging war on another. When conventional warfare is too costly, Kautilya introduces the secret means. He advocates for psychological operations, targeted assassinations, and systemic sabotage to hollow out an enemy from within before a single sword is drawn. Foreign policy in the Arthashastra is completely devoid of sentimentality. It is a calculated algorithm of leverage, timing, and survival. How do we reconcile the man who sanctioned secret poisoners with the man who pioneered social security for the poor? The answer lies in Kautilya's ultimate maxim. In the happiness of his subjects lies his happiness, in their welfare, his welfare. This ruthless pragmatism provided the necessary cost of building an impenetrable shield around the citizens' prosperity. Stability was the objective, secured through calculation rather than personal ego. A truly enduring organization thrives only when benevolent internal prosperity is protected by unsentimental, calculated external strategy. 2 millennia later, the Arthashastra remains the definitive science of wealth and power. Collected, created, and presented by Pawan Thakur, Thakur Property Consultancy.